Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Clutch Report with Shivas and Karak. Today we are going to be previewing the US Open. How are we feeling, Karak?
I'm feeling a little Carlito vibes here, you know what I'm saying?
Ah,
I
okay,
think
okay.
I think I'm just gonna
Early
go to
favorite.
Ibiza. I'm gonna go to Ibiza and come back and beat everybody. You feel me?
Even after looking at that draw of his?
Dude, that is gonna be. I think we're gonna touch on that draw a little later, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the US Open, final Grand Slam of the year. And
Yeah, I'm not so sure about your take. I think this is Sinner's favorite court. He's a hard court merchant. I would definitely start him off as favorite. Carlos, I mean, of course, he won Cincinnati because Sinner was ill and nothing more than that. Wasn't throwing it away, wasn't doing a Djokovic. It's just that he was ill. The sun is hot. It's the conditions are not ideal for playing tennis, but it's going to be a fun one. I don't know if
no,
Carlos is going to catch up with Sinner this time.
no, I think right, like you rightly mentioned, I think if you touch on the draw, you'd be like, okay, Carlos has a long way to go. The number of the players he plays from round four to like Sinner, I think that's gonna be difficult. But again, what's the best part about following Carlito? It's his drive, it's his passion, and we know
Yeah,
if it's anyone else, only one guy who could potentially do it. But yeah, like you said, Sinner should be the favorite. It's his favorite court and he's defending his US Open title, so that's going to be interesting. Also, he's got
yeah.
a very easy draw, very favorable draw, I must say. But what do you think about Djokovic, the man, the goat? What do you think? You think he's gonna spring up a surprise for us?
I'm not so sure. He's not played much tennis leading up to the tournament. I feel like he's reached that mental stage where after watching Wimbledon, it just felt like he doesn't believe he can beat these guys. You know what I mean? Maybe with Alcaraz, somehow game styles, he has some sort of chance, but with Sinner, he just seems to be a bit clueless. I think he's lost the last 5 direct meetings against Sinner. So the head-to-head is not looking good there. But before we get into Djokovic, can we just pay a little bit of like a tribute to Sinner and Alcaraz? Just like for the fact that we all thought that tennis was going, we were all a bit concerned, after the big three retired, that where is tennis going? Is that viewership going to die down? And these two have just come back and sort of revived the sport, bro. Everybody's invested in this rivalry, and they're just nice guys. You just want everybody supporting both of them. They're nice guys, they're friends on and off the court, and it's just so entertaining to watch. We've had, I think, the French was, of course, the better final, but two phenomenal games, and it's just exciting that for the next 10 years we have these two.
I think more than that, and also just like you mentioned, like rivals, but it's just so nice on field and off field. Like they're just so
Yeah.
nice to everybody, nice to each other. They just look like friends who are battling it out. And like you mentioned, again, it's the revival of the tennis sport, like from the 1991 to like 2000. Whoever was born in that era, they've done absolutely nothing. Obviously, Medvedev has won a title there,
Yeah.
but the young boys, the Gen Z kids have come in
Yeah.
and taken it
Funny
by
that you
storm.
funny that you say that. There's actually a stat for players born in the 1980s. Can you guess the number of Grand Slams won by those players?
1980s,
Yeah, players born in the 1980s, how many Grand Slams have been won? If you had to throw a random number,
say around 68,
80. And
80.
now players born in the 90s, how many Grand Slams have been won by players born in the 90s?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say two.
It's two.
I
It's
don't know, Medi and team.
and team. That's it. That's it. That's what I said. We were concerned, bro. Like, who was gonna like take over? And luckily, these two have shown up, and like, we're sure. At least for 10 years, we've got some good action.
Absolutely. Also, let's talk about the women's draw. We have Coco. We have your favorite Coco. What are your thoughts on her? You think she's able to serve properly this time?
I think, I think she'll be all right. I don't pit her as favorite or anything for the tournament, but playing under her favorite US crowd, she's also won this tournament before. I feel like that fighter will come out, which is why I admire Coco. She's a mentality monster. She may not be the most gifted and the most talented. I also don't think she's the strongest player on tour, but just a mentality monster, which is why she won the French Open, in my opinion. Just, through those tough conditions, just stuck at it and was able to get over the line. But I think Swiatek looking good. She's in good form. Sabalenka has made 2 finals this year, hasn't won a single tournament, so she's going to be up for it. What are you saying? Who's your favorite for on the
I
women's
think
side?
my favorite, obviously, is the defending champion, Sabalenka. One of the most consistent players in the last 2 years or last 3 years, if I must say. I think Saba is just, she's a
Yeah.
beast, right? Also, I read this funny tweet, recently which said that if she'd have gone If she'd have gone to the Wimbledon final and lost, she'd have completed the career, the career
Yeah.
stamp for losing every final.
Career runner-up.
No, but then she's just so unfortunate, right? I think again that's where mentality comes in for Sabalenka, where sometimes she's just all over the opponent, and then the barrage of unforced errors just come in. But yeah, my favorite is obviously Sabalenka, and my second favorite is my favorite Iga. Iga, what a terrible start to the year. Not a
Yeah.
great start at all. Didn't win a single tournament till May. And then just after that Wimbledon run, even she was shocked that she won the Wimbledon, after that
Double bagel.
double bagel. Listen, that game, I started watching the game. I said, okay, let me go hit the restroom. And I came back, the game's done. I was like, yo, what's happening?
Annasimova. I mean,
Annasimova.
Annasimova, I mean, I don't think she wants to relive that day, but great tournament for her. She beat Sabalenka on the way there. And I think she will also be an outsider for this tournament.
Also, one more thing that I'm just going to give a shout out to Annasimova. Gone through a lot in the last couple of years, took a break from tennis, and just to come back in and do what she was doing on court, phenomenal achievement. So I'll just give her a
Yeah,
pat on the back, because it's important.
absolutely.
Sport is important, but then it's just that
Yeah.
moments like this I love.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. I think Kvitova also had a similar, not a similar story, but also
Mhm.
like she went through like that
He
stabbing
went
and
through.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
these are the stories that we love,
That
that,
absolutely. Okay, Shivas, let's get right into the draw. I'm gonna pass the tangent to you, and you can speak about your man Yannick Sinner's path to defending his US Open title.
yeah, I think he's been given a favorable draw.
Hmm.
I think in these hot and sweltering New York conditions where the heat seems to get to a lot of players, he'll be happy that most of his games will be under 4 sets, I hope. Yeah, Kopriva, I don't know who that is. I may be a wild card, I'm not sure. Should be a straight set win. Poprin, I think, is a good early test. I don't think he'll cause him much troubles, but it's a good test. You know what I mean? Early on. Shapovalov, I mean, he had a lot of hope early on in his career, but I don't see him causing any problems. Bublik, if Bublik gets there, you never know with Bublik which Bublik will turn up. But if Bublik gets there, that could be a spicy contest because he beat him in Germany, if I remember correctly, on grass. So or Paul, I mean, I think both are good early matchups for Sinner. I still think he'll get through both of them, but Paul and Bublik could maybe be 4 setters. If they have a good day, maybe a 5 setter. Musetti, I actually feel will get out earlier than the quarterfinals. I don't favor him. I think he's got a tough first round draw, which we'll get to. He's playing that big server, the Frenchman Pericard,
Ooh.
which could be one of the toughest rounds that you could hope for. And again, Zverev, I don't see him getting that far, to be honest. I
Also,
honestly don't see him getting that far.
do you think Rublev breaks his quarterfinal curse?
Could be. I mean, I could see it. I just feel like Zverev, again, he struggled with the heat in Cincinnati. I don't know where his game is at. He also mentioned after Wimbledon that like he's been going through sort of mental issues. So if he's able to overcome that, then maybe he'll always be a quarterfinal, semifinal player. But I'm not sure. It's just he's not been in the best of form. So he's sort of like could go either way with him. So yeah, this is kind of a straightforward draw in my opinion for Sinner. And do you see anything different?
No, I know. If I was Sinner and if I was part of the Sinner's camp, I'd be chilling now because when I see that draw, I think I'm gonna run past everybody easily. Think easy finals there. I
Yeah.
think obviously he's looking forward to Alcaraz being there, and yeah, very simple draw for Sinner. I think for the number
Yeah,
one
I
seed,
think
I
round
thought
four is the only possible.
round four in quarters, according to me, because even Draper
Yeah,
is having a decent season, and Koboli is having a breakthrough season. So yeah, I
yeah.
think it's pretty straightforward. Sinner to win, according to you.
We will get to winners of the tournament later, but I think he will be a finalist. Yes.
Lovely. Now let's move on to Carlito. Carlito again. I think he's has a monster draw, tough draw there. Plays Opelka in round one, which is again it's a
Yeah.
great first round opening match for the US Open crowd coming in. And then you obviously have Bellucci. I think Bellucci or Shank. I think that's gonna be an easy three-setter. And then you have Hijikata or Tarteri, again an easy three-setter. And then comes the monster draw. You either get Medvedev in round four for Kina. And if he gets Medvedev, wait, he might get Rude, Shelton, or Lehecka in quarterfinals. Oh, then wait,
Mm,
if he gets through this, he might get Joko, Fritz, Rune, and Mensik, or Mensik in semifinals. And then if
yeah,
he gets through all of this, he gets Sinner. Now, is he gonna last? Like, that
yeah.
is the question.
This is
Yeah,
a draw and a half.
exactly. So I
This is
am.
a draw and a half.
It's going to test Alcaraz. I think this is a very tough draw. And from round four, I think it's going to be just great viewing for anybody in the US Open. Also, I watched Alcaraz 2 years back at the Toronto Masters. And let me tell you something,
Mm,
Shaz. I haven't like goosebumps all the way. I watched him against Hubert Hurkacz. He was down 3-1 in the second, and then he just he hit like a beautiful forehand, and he just put his hand up his ears, and he's like, "Why are you not shouting for me?" And that changed. Like
yeah, he's an
literally,
entertainer. He's an
literally.
absolute entertainer.
Whew. Like I have videos from it I always see and I'm like, what a player. And then just watching him, like you don't understand, like watching him live and watching him on TV. He is into
Yeah,
80 speed fast. Like, it just looks very normal when he just runs and gets the ball. But then when you watch him live, I was like, how is he getting to that? Like every time he got to that, everyone's like,
yeah,
and that's something, just such a phenomenal player. And, which, like you, just echoing your thoughts, we're just so lucky to have Carlito and Sinner just showing us what they do and doing it in such a professional manner.
absolutely.
And then let's
Agreed.
go
And
on
I've also
to,
seen,
yeah,
no,
go
I
on,
was
go
just
on.
gonna say I've also seen both of them live, and yeah, phenomenal. Alcaraz is an absolute entertainer. Sinner is more robotic, but seeing him live, you realize how hard he hits the ball. When you hear it on TV, you can hear that sound, but when you see it in real life, oh my God, it's like a bullet. It's essentially a bullet every time he smacks that forehand.
No, I agree. I think Ben Shelton also came out I think in his press conference, he was like, you guys don't realize how fast he hits that ball. Because when you watch it from your TV of a beautiful sofa, it looks like he's just hitting the ball. But when you play against him, because everybody
Yeah,
plays very differently, and then this guy hits it so fast. It's so hard to like get yourself like get yourself ready to place, So, and Shelton's like what 5-0 down. He's lost five consecutive games to Sinner. So I think he's the best person to even give us.
If you had to compare Alcaraz and Sinner to the previous top three, who would you say they're most similar to?
I think Sinner to Joko. I think Sinner to Joko, just because of the way he returns the ball. I think he's one of the best in terms of
Consistency.
the consistency of just the volume of just his hitting, dude. Like, he just keep going
Yeah,
on, like, and also his percentage shots right by the baseline, and then the way he hits it so consistently just reminds me of Joko. I think Alcaraz is like a hybrid model. Alcaraz sometimes Federer, sometimes Nadal, sometimes Joko. Uh, what do you think? What do you think about the comparison?
I agree with the Sinner. He's more Djokovic, definitely in terms of the way he plays, not in terms of mentality. In terms of mentality, I see him more like Federer, very calm on the court. Very rarely you see him rattled or anything. No matter how the game is going, he's just like you very rarely hear a come on from him. Also, it's just a little fist pump is all you get from Sinner. But in terms of game style, it's of course a lot more similar to Djokovic. I find Alcaraz similar to Federer and Nadal, like you said, a hybrid model. Mentality of Nadal and like the game style of Federer, like more a magician on court. He'll produce certain things that you're like sort of astounded by, like how did you produce that? You know what I mean? And he's got every shot in the book, right? Which also Federer had. Like he has the drop shot, he has that delicate touch. He's got a great serve, forehand, backhand. So that complete game which Federer used to also have. So I think the mentality of Nadal and the sort of complete game of Federer is what Alcaraz has.
Perfecto. Let's go on to the GOAT, Novak Djokovic.
Yes, let's go on to the GOAT.
Do you really think?
I think it pains us both to say that, but it is the unfortunate truth.
Unfortunate truth. I can't even say anything about it. That's why I've just like it's taken time for me, but I've just made sure that listen,
Yeah.
happens. It's already happened now. So let's move on with life. Let's hope either Carlito or Sinner do
Yeah.
man something and break.
Revealing our biases against Novak, but
Let's see. Now round one is against. I think he's gonna smash
not
him.
an easy first round, man.
You
Not,
don't
I
think
don't
so?
think it's an easy first round. No, I think TN is a pretty decent up and coming rookie. I think he reached the third or fourth round of a Grand Slam last year. I can't remember which, whether it was Australian or the US. I think it's a tough one first up. Of course, I think he'll come through it, but I don't think it'll be a walk in the park.
At all. So when do you reckon this run stops? Because
I think he loses to Fritz. Fritz is my guess. I
quarterfinals.
think he loses in the quarterfinal. Yeah.
My guess is,
I
just
also put,
go on.
go on. I was saying, I also think maybe Rune and Tiafo will give him a good game. Tiafo with the American crowd behind him, you never know. I think that could also be a good game.
But also, whenever I look at Djokovic and, whenever I look at the people he's going to play, I just feel like he's going to reach the semifinals and lose to Alcaraz because that's how much of a disappointment that entire era has been. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They just have that mental block, right, against Djokovic and now also against Sinner and
Sinner
Alcaraz. Like
Alcaraz.
you're playing the man, you're not playing the game, you're playing the man first, right? And they aren't able to get over that mental block yet. But I think Fritz has had a few good wins under his belt. Like I think he played really well against Alcaraz in Wimbledon also. It's just that I don't know if you remember that tie break where he got really close. I think he had a set point which would have taken it to the fifth set, but then Alcaraz just turned it on and did Alcaraz things
Yeah, and then
and ended the game there.
Alcaraz
But
did that pose, looked at his
yeah,
watch like
Fritz.
this.
But Fritz, yeah, Fritz is where I see Djokovic's tournament coming to an end.
Oh, quarterfinals. I think mine will be semifinals. I think he'll lose to Alcaraz. If Alcaraz gets there, I think he will. So semis is where Joker is going to lose. I think. Who do you think is going to win? Because now we have gone through the top three. So who do you think is going to win? Who's your dark horse just to come in there, just to spice things up in the US Open?
I think Alcaraz is going to win.
Ooh, Alcaraz.
I
Wow.
just seeing how Cincinnati went, and I just feel like Sinner maybe he's not um, acclimatized to these really warm, sweltering conditions. And Alcaraz being a Spanish boy, he loves playing under the sun, similar to Rafa in those days. I think, and I feel like he wants to. Sinner's won two this year, so there's more motivation, more drive for Alcaraz to catch up. And yeah, his game's been on fire recently, winning Cincinnati pretty convincingly. Yeah, I think Alcaraz is my bet.
Hmm. My bet's
And
gonna
dark
be
horse.
the dark horse. Let me you finish that and I'll
Yeah,
come
go
on
go
to
on
mine.
with your bet, and then we'll get into dark horses.
My bet, I think just looking at Alcaraz's draw, and if it's a best of five, I think Sinner's going to take it. I think Sinner has the easier draw. Sinner will get more time to rest. Sinner will get more time to sleep. Sinner gets more time to eat. And yeah, Sinner is going to defend his US Open title. Weird that it's coming from both of us
I'm
that
sensing a
you're
bit
going for
of.
Sinner, you're going for
I know
Alcaraz.
we're both picking the opposing, picking the opposing player, but I sense some saltiness in that draw, in dissecting that Sinner's draw.
Yeah, man, like, just look at that draw. We've already seen it once. If you just look at it again, like, come on, listen, it's a joke.
Yeah, it is favorable for sure.
It is so favorable. And I'm not blaming anybody. Draws are draws, it's
Yeah,
luck, you know what I mean? But this is such an easy draw. Like, I don't know, man. I think most of these games will finish in 1 hour and 42 minutes. That should be
yeah.
that should be a
Comparatively,
that should be a bet, mate. That should be a bet. Less than 1 hour 42 minutes for Sinner to win all his games. At least in the quarterfinals.
yeah. Do you have who's your dark horse then?
My dark horse, I have two players. I think it's either Ben Shelton. I think he's had a great year overall. Or I'm just gonna get another guy, and I think he's had a terrible season this year. But I'm just hoping that he gets his US Open luck back, and it's Daniel Medvedev, man. I'm just hoping something comes up.
Mm.
I love what he does with the crowd. He's always had that, just that fight with the crowd, and he's just so funny as a human being. Like with the FIFA celebration, and then just
Yeah,
it's a match
the
made in heaven
entertainer,
for the US
absolute
Open
entertainer.
crowd. So yeah, these are the two dark
Yeah.
horses. Yours?
Funny you say that because I think Medvedev is going to lose in the first round. I think Bonzi is going to do a little three-peat. Bonzi has beaten him two for two, and I think he's going to make it three for three. My dark horse was actually also Ben Shelton, but since you mentioned him, I will say I'm going to go with Tommy Paul. I don't know if you consider him a dark horse, but considering he's not done anything considerable in a Grand Slam yet, I think this is the one where he will show us something.
That is definitely a dark horse. Tommy Paul, the US man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to have a pretty good tournament. I just feel like these US guys, Shelton, Fritz, Tiafoe, Tommy Paul, all they like playing in these home conditions. It's just that American mentality. They thrive. They love that atmosphere. So I can see him having a good tournament.
Tommy Paul, huh? It's Tommy Paul versus
Let's move on to the ladies now.
ladies. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Who do you wanna start off with? Let's start off with the defending champ. Bah.
Yeah, top seed, the Tiger, the Lion, the Sherini,
Let's just look at the quarterfinal matchup against Rybakina. That is a blockbuster.
Rybakina.
I love Rybakina. I
Not
think she
Raducanu. You don't see Raducanu reaching there.
come on, just because she played with Alcaraz, that doesn't mean that I rate her that highly.
She's been in decent form off late.
She's in decent form too. I think she's already won the US Open once. I think she's good. Let's not even go. Let's not talk
Yeah.
about Garuda. I'm just looking at that Rybakina versus Sabalenka matchup, and I'm like, that is a great matchup, especially in the quarterfinal. I think that's gonna be hectic. That's gonna be a very, very good game for the neutrals. And for someone supporting Swiatek, I think that's perfect. Rybakina is not an easy person to play, and let's see what happens. But overall,
Hmm.
also is challenging. It's not an easy draw like how Sinner got for comparing both the seeds.
Too much saltiness here, buddy.
What to do, man? What to do? I have to show it somewhere else. Yeah, but I think even Paulini, even she has had a great season so far. And just looking at that draw, I think it's a challenging one where you either play Puskova or Fernandez in round three, which is again great game. And then you have Iala, who who's coming from the Rafael Nadal Academy in round four potentially. Obviously, Tossin and Mertens both are great. But if Iala comes in, it's gonna be a little nice. And she's also had a breakthrough season. So
Yeah.
overall, tough draw, but I see her going to the finals. I see her going to the finals. If she beats Rybakina, she's gonna be there.
I agree, and also I think she's made two finals this year. Not won any of them. She's always going to be around the semi-final, final area, but I think she's probably has the most hunger amongst the rest of the ladies in the draw because she hasn't won anything this year. Will want to defend that U.S. Open title and make sure she gets at least one for the year. So yeah, I think a good draw. I think not the easiest, not the hardest, somewhere in between. I'd put it a good tester in round, like you said, round four. Quarterfinal will be a cracker, and then the semifinal is just we don't know. There's six names that we have, and genuinely I can't pick who's going to actually make it.
Yes, Shivers. Let's move on to your
So
Coco.
yeah, Coco. I mean, the fighter, the mentality monster that is Coco Gauff. But to be honest, looking at this draw, I'm not very positive. I think she's got quite a few tests on the way. Vekic is not an easy game, like you said. Tomljanovic also not an easy game. Osaka, Kasatkina, and then Keys potentially in the quarterfinal. I feel like these are all girls that can potentially beat her. So I'm not very optimistic about Coco's chances this year, to be honest.
Do you
What
think
do
she
you
can?
think?
Do you think she can serve better? 'Cause, I've been seeing some outstanding memes on Tennis Central and just on Twitter. She's not able to serve, man. Like, she's actually hired Sabalenka as coach, which Sabalenka also hired when she was going through her double fault issue right before the US Open. That could be a blessing in disguise for Coco. If she gets her serve right, then fighter in her comes back, and she could potentially reach the semifinals and lose to Swiatek.
Yeah, the serve, unfortunately, like is such a mental part of the game, and when it's going wrong, for you to fix it, it takes some time. I remember Zverev also went through this issue a few years ago, where if it wasn't a first serve, his second serve, he was literally just lobbing in like an amateur. It's just such a mental part of your game, and it takes time to fix. And if it's not fixed now, I honestly, it could be an early exit for Coco, maybe even round two.
Ooh, that's supposed to be a hot take for me, mate. That's Coco going off in round two. That's gonna be hot.
Yeah, sorry for stealing that, but it hurts me to say it. But I just feel like, yeah, like you said, the serve is not working, and she's got an incredibly tough draw.
Okay, then let's go next up to my favorite, Iga Swiatek, the Rafael Nadal lover. She loves Nadal more than me, I think. She's always quoting Nadal every time she gets a chance. And if you look at her draw, I generally think this is an easy draw. Like, because if you just look at who she plays, I think till the quarterfinals, I think she has it easy. I think then she has like a potential matchup with Annasimova, the Wimbledon final matchup, and that's going to be a little. That's going to be a little spicy because Anasimova should be going all guns blazing to at least get one set, right? Or get one game.
Yep. One game, that's the first challenge.
And then you either have, again, you have Keys, Madison Keys or Goff coming into the semifinals. And then the finals, if you look at it, Sabalenka. So I'm actually excited about Iga's draw. I think if you compare Goff's and Sabalenka's draw, I think this is the easiest draw out here. So yeah, I think Iga, my pick to win the US Open, just in the form she's in, I think Iga's going to win it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know if she'd win it, but I definitely see a Sabalenka Iga final for sure. I think both are currently in better form compared to everyone else. Sabalenka will also have that extra motivation of wanting to defend her title and win one this year. Swiatek just in fantastic form, and this draw, like you said, I apart from Annasimova, and I don't see anyone else who could potentially beat her. Maybe Keys on her day.
Maybe Keys on her.
Keys if she has a good tournament, but no one else, to be honest.
So let's go on to the first round matches. These are the picks we have taken, and then these are the matches I feel like are the matches to watch for round one. Obviously, we've touched on Alcaraz, Opelka, a crowd favorite. Kovalov and Fuxo, which I think that's going five. That's going the distance because
Hmm.
I feel bad for Shapovalov. I think, such a great talent and just mentally he's not there. It's sad. Uh, then you have
I agree. I agree.
then you have Bublik and Silic. Silic with a monster run
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And Bublik again, great
Former US Open champion
former US Open champion, beat Kei Nishikori in the final. I think it's 2010.
and Roger Federer in the semifinal.
Oh, I was not gonna go there, Shiv. Why do you get that again? Why do you bring him back? I just thought go on.
Can I tell you a story? So I was
Please.
at the US Open that year, and that was
Ooh.
the first ever time I watched Roger Federer live. And so the semifinals were Nishikori versus Djokovic. That was the first semi, and Nishikori beat Djokovic. And I thought, okay, this is all set up for Federer to win. He's playing Cilic in the semi, and he's got Nishikori in the final. And I don't know who turned up that day, but Cilic just was an absolute monster. And it's one of the most heartbreaking moments for me as a Federer fan. First time watching him live, and he got demolished.
Ooh. And then you didn't watch him live again.
I watched him live again, and I watched him lose again at the US Open. I think it was the next year or 2 years later, and he lost to this Australian John Millman. And I genuinely booked a fourth round ticket. I think that was a fourth round ticket, thinking because I just want to watch him win, and he should get past this bloody mailman or whoever he was, and he lost to him also.
No, man, no. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you, sir.
Yeah. Watched him twice. 0 for 2. My record is 0 for 2 in watching Federer, but it's okay. I kind of feel like I was some sort of bad luck curse, but it's all right. I at least saw him live. Something off my bucket list.
That's the positives you take out of your beautiful story there. Oh God. Imagine watching Roger Federer twice and he loses both. Uh, and then, like you mentioned, let's go on to Musetti versus Pericard. I think that's going to be again a blockbuster. And you have a say in this, and you might think Musetti might go down.
Yeah, I just think Musetti hasn't had since the French. I feel like his form has dipped quite a bit. Pericard is one of those guys, when his serve is on, he can frustrate you, because it's just really tough to break. So it's like a Karlovic, right? Most sets are going to tie breaks, and Musetti sometimes gets a bit hot-headed. So I think the frustration may get to him, and this could be an early upset.
Then you have Mensik and Jari. Mensik again, breakthrough season for him this year against Nicholas Jari, which is going to be another. I don't think it's going to be a cracker of a game, but I think it's one of the games we can watch out for. And then you have Holger
Yeah.
Rune, Botic van der Zandskloop. I love Botic van der Zandskloop. I think he's a great player. Sorry for butchering your pronunciation, Mr. Botic, but Rune also has not had a great season, and Bottage has every right to win that game. I think I'm gonna watch that game closely, and my eyes are gonna be on Wanders and Scoop.
Yeah,
I
that could be
mean,
a cracker. Tough one for Rune early on, huh? Tough one for Rune early on.
I think his mom's gonna be a little annoyed coaching there. But anyway, let's not go there. And then we have the India represent Baswa Reddy, Yellownaru, Bagunaru. We had to put him there.
Garu, Baswa Reddy.
Had to put him there because, who else can we put? Come on, the tennis scene in India is just so sad in the singles side of things. So we had to get in a Baswani there. I'm
Yeah.
very happy for him. Very happy for him. Tough, tough draw against Kashinov. I think Kashinov was a great player, and Kashinov was very consistent in the first three, four
Yeah.
rounds. And obviously doesn't have it in him to go to the quarters or semis, but he's just such a good player, and he's
Hmm.
loved by everybody. So that's that.
Yeah.
But
Consistent fourth rounder, quarterfinal player.
exactly. So Shiv, if I can ask you a question, out of these matches we've shown you,
Hmm.
what is one game you're excited about the most?
I think the most entertaining game to watch. I'm excited by Djokovic Tian, as I said
Hmm.
earlier. I think that'll be a fun one because Djokovic, we'll see the emotions of Djokovic come out. I think Musetti Pericard will be not the most entertaining game to watch, but I could see it going the distance. But yeah, I think the game is Rune and Van der Zandschulp. I'm also like butchering his name, but I think that's the pick in terms of wanting entertaining tennis and maybe a good 4-5 setter. I think that's the pick. What about you? Who do you see as the pick of your games?
Mine will be Bublik and Silic. I just love watching Bublik play, so it's Bublik and Silic. And the second would be Rune and Botic Van de Zandschulp.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some underarm serves from Bublik against the
Same.
old man Cilic. Make him scramble.
That's gonna be fun, huh? Imagine he's 40 love down and he's gonna hit that underarm serve randomly out of the box, and everyone's looking at Bublik saying, "What are you doing?" And Bublik's like, "I know what I'm doing."
Exactly.
But then
Absolute entertainer though.
let's quickly move on to the women's round one matches to watch. If you see there in the first line there, Venus Williams is
Mhm.
back, and
Heritage.
she gets a night session. She gets a night session in the center court, I believe.
Yeah.
Venus is back. That's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be exciting. And then if we just quickly go on to Mboko versus Krejcikova. Listen, that's another cracker start. Mboko just recently won
Spicy.
the spicy one there. She won the Toronto or Montreal Masters, beat Osaka in the final.
Hmm.
And Krejcikova, the Grand Slam winner and also a great tennis player. I love watching her play. And she's only one of the few tennis players who also plays doubles. It's either her or Paolini. Both of them play doubles a lot while playing singles also. So that's going to be a great game. And when I just go through it, I think we also spoke about Goff and Tomljanovic. I think that's also going to be a great game. And let's also put in Kostuk and Katie Bolter because Katie Bolter is what Katie Bolter's fiance is Diminor. So and also Bolter is a great tennis player. I like watching her play. Just gonna put her there.
Hmm.
What about you? Do you have any picks from this list?
I used to be a Venus Williams fan, so always excited to see her. I don't think she's gonna have the best of tournaments, but as Jose Mourinho would say, this is tennis heritage. US Open round one under the lights, Venus Williams. This is tennis heritage.
No, that's spot on there, Shivi.
But like you said, I think Mboko, Krejcikova, and the golf games. I think those are the two games to watch out for, probably.
Nah, man, 100%. But yeah, I think that brings a roundup to our beautiful preview of the US Open. And obviously, I'm looking at Sinner, he's looking at Alcaraz, I'm looking at Swiatek. I think Shiv's looking at Sabalenka by the looks of it.
Yeah,
He's not happy with Coco
we're
Gauff's.
picking opposites here.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. But yes, I think it's gonna be a fun tournament. I'm excited for the tournament. I love watching the US Open, and hopefully, because of the time difference, hopefully I get to watch most of the games.
Yeah, we'll try and catch as much as we can. Stay awake. We've got bags under our eyes anyway, so it's going to continue for 2 more weeks.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's us signing off, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we shall see you with our next episode where we're going to be reviewing Game Week 2 in the Premier League.
Yeah. Also, our friends have been telling us this, so make sure you like and subscribe our video, and
Please
also
do.
follow us on Instagram, the Clutch Report 7. We're going to be posting regularly now, so yeah, please
Yep.
like, share, subscribe. We've become one of those people now.
See you all. Cheers.